let's talk about some facts. Whitney Houston, you brag about how Snoop told you and told you he's a part of the listening to Snoop on the radio. Snoop is,
Suge Knight just dropped a bombshell from prison, accusing Snoop Dogg of setting up Tupac's unalivement and Ray J of being involved in Whitney Houston's death. But is he finally telling the truth or just throwing out more wild accusations?
Snoop was involved in...
And then there's Ray J, who's been accused of getting Whitney Houston hooked on drugs and being there the night she died. But was he just an innocent bystander, or did he actually have a role in her death?
She just used the term that Brandy's little brother bringing me drugs and doing drugs with me.
There are too many coincidences to ignore, and we're about to break it all down. Suge Knight just put Snoop Dogg and Ray J on blast. So let's get into it. In a shocking call from behind bars, Suge accused Ray J of being involved in Whitney Houston's death. He claims Ray was bringing drugs to Whitney, doing drugs with her, and that she was terrified of him in her final days. According to Suge, Whitney didn't even say Ray J's name. She just called him Brandy's little brother.
She didn't even say your name. She just used the term that Brandy's little brother.
And that's not all. Suge also dropped an even bigger bomb, claiming Snoop Dogg played a direct role in Tupac's unalivement.
I'm not even going to go there and get on Snoop's situation, because everybody know how tight him and Puffy is.
Suge alleges that Ray J himself once confirmed that Snoop put a bounty on 2Pac. That's right, the same Ray J who's been cozy with Diddy, Clive Davis, and Hollywood's elite might have let this massive secret slip to Suge at some point. But how much truth is really behind these accusations? And why is Suge choosing now to speak on it? Let's rewind and break this down. We've known for years that Tupac and Snoop weren't on good terms before Pac's unalivement. But now, Suge is shedding new light on just how bad things got. According to Suge, Tupac was furious with Snoop after hearing him on the radio saying he'd work with Biggie and Puffy. This was right after the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards, just days before Tupac was shot in Las Vegas.
We listen to Snoop on the radio. Snoop is,
The next morning, when Tupac confronted Snoop, Suge had to step in to calm things down. But the damage was already done. Snoop was allegedly scared for his life, so much so that he even brought weapons on the plane ride home. But here's where it gets even crazier. Suge claims Snoop later played a role in putting money on Tupac's head. But this is not the first time that Suge has mentioned Snoop's alleged involvement in the unalivement of Tupac. A few years ago, Suge Knight expressed his need for a face-to-face conversation with Snoop Dogg, emphasizing that there is a lot of explaining he needs to give for all that he has allegedly done.
Before I even jump on that situation, it's like,
Knight started by highlighting the close relationship between Tupac and Snoop, citing the rapper's contributions to All Eyes on Me and how it propelled Snoop to stardom. Afterwards, he insisted on addressing any possible involvement Snoop might have in the events leading up to Tupac's. Knight then made a number of claims against Snoop, one being that the rapper knew something was about to go down in Vegas and had informed Daz Dillinger not to go to Vegas with the rest of the death row crew the night of Tupac's shooting.
Situation saying that Snoop told him they can't go to the fight, can't go to the club.
You see, in a 2017 interview with Vlad TV, Daz spoke about this incident saying,
"Were you in Vegas?"
No, we heard about it because they was trying to get us to go to Vegas.
Bad Az confirmed Suge's claims in another interview from a while back where he said,
Daz was like, no, I'm not going to that shit. You want to roll with them? You going, it's going to be all the bloods there, blah, blah, blah.
Additionally, Suge claimed that Daz and Snoop Dogg recorded a song with one of the men who allegedly plotted to unalive Tupac. Snoop, Daz, and the rest of them, they did a song with one of the N's from that side who was in the car, he said. If that's loyalty to Pac, ish MFs don't need that type of loyalty. When asked who they did the song with, Suge Knight named DeAndre Big Dre Smith, who was allegedly one of 4 men in the car from which the deadly 1996 drive-by shooting was carried out. Authorities believe the other men in the car that night were Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, his uncle Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, and Terrence Bubble Up Brown. Davis, the only living suspect in the case, was charged with 2Pac's M earlier this year. The person who did the compilation was that N. Dre, or whatever his name is, Suge said. Well, you know, he ain't here, but that's that. But like I said before, if Keefe D telling the truth, all the other ish makes sense. What's more, Suge Knight claimed, Warren G., who had invited Snoop to his LA home at the time of the shooting, claimed that the rapper was equipped with a long-distance radio-like device that functioned almost like a cell phone. This device, as Suge claims, became the conduit through which Snoop received live updates about Tupac's shooting and subsequent demise in Las Vegas.
Warren did a thing where he was on a talking with others.
For context, Warren G., a close associate of Snoop Dogg, recounted how Snoop had initially planned to accompany Tupac and Death Row Records founder Suge Knight to Las Vegas for the Tyson vs. Selden fight. In a twist of fate, Snoop altered his plans and accepted Warren G.'s invitation to watch the fight at his Los Angeles residence. Warren G., reflecting on the unexpected turn of events, shared, "The cold sh about it is I had called Snoop. At that time, I was single. I had a house to myself. I was like, I'm a bachelor. What's up, Snoop? Come over. I'm here watching the fight. I'm invite a gang of people over. We gonna barbecue." Despite the initial rejection of the invitation, Warren G. was pleasantly surprised when he heard a horn honking in front of his house. Snoop Dogg, decked out in a white Rolls-Royce with a distinctive peanut butter interior, had arrived with a change of heart. The two friends spent the evening barbecuing and enjoying the fight, with Snoop even allowing Warren G. to take the Rolls-Royce for a spin. Warren G. recalled the moment, saying, "He pulled up, he surprised me. He came and hung with me, he let me drive that MF, and we just having a good time, barbecuing, having fun, and the fight was coming on. He came to F with me for the fight instead of going to Vegas." As the two friends immersed themselves in the atmosphere of the Tyson vs. Selden fight, Snoop, equipped with a Nextel device, received shocking news. The device, with its capabilities extending all the way from Vegas to Los Angeles, became the conduit for real-time updates on the unfolding tragedy. Snoop, amidst the revelry, received calls informing him that Tupac Shakur had been shot. Warren G. vividly remembered the moment, stating,
"He had the Nextel back then. Remember the motherfucker? Yeah. He had the mother could go."
The use of a long-distance radio by Snoop Dogg on the night of Tupac's shooting is a perplexing anomaly. The possession of such a tool raises critical questions about Snoop's knowledge of the unfolding tragedy and challenges the conventional understanding of the night Tupac was shot. Suge Knight dismissed the possibility of anyone, apart from the Death Row security team, having access to the radios described by Warren G.
Well, you have a radio. If you was at the fight with us and you had a security geek.
By saying this, Suge implies that Snoop was probably using the radio to get information from a source closer to the heart of the incident. What's more, Knight also said that Snoop never visited Tupac in hospital after his shooting, despite the Dogfather saying multiple times that he saw Pac before he died.
He said Snoop kicked him out, then he came to the hospital. Snoop never came to the hospital, period.
Now let's get into Ray J. According to Suge, Ray J wasn't just casually around Whitney Houston. He was directly involved in her downfall. There's long been speculation that Ray J had connections with Clive Davis, the music mogul who was reportedly at the Beverly Hilton when Whitney died. Some even believe Ray J was sent to keep Whitney on a certain path, or worse. And it doesn't help that Ray J was acting strangely after Whitney's death. You see, according to Jaguar Wright, Ray J was the last person to see Whitney Houston alive, and he was actually the one who let the substance dealer into her room to drug her.
Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was so...
She went on to say that Whitney had been beaten up before her death.
Said, Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten.
Although Jaguar doesn't mention who was responsible for beating up Whitney, all the fingers currently point towards Ray J. In fact, after learning that Houston's use was one of the causes of her death, the icon's ex-husband Bobby Brown's sister Leola reportedly claimed that Ray J knew someone who sold substances and accused him of providing substances to Whitney. Leola reportedly claimed that she witnessed Ray J leaving Houston's hotel room when her former sister-in-law died. She then accused Ray of being a runner boy for the music legend because he knew somebody that sold substances from whom he bought and supplied them to Whitney. In addition to this, in a resurfaced interview, Ray J can be heard saying that he could get Whitney to be sober if he wanted to. This interview was conducted while Whitney was still alive, which meant that Ray J was actually controlling her at the time. What's even more shocking is that in that same interview, Ray J also admitted to using Whitney for clout.
I was with her, I was not happy.
Right.
Like, I was not happy.
Right, it was the right thing.
And I saw...
At this point, it is clear that Ray J did not care about Whitney and only used her to get his fame. Later on, when Whitney died, Ray J was seen at her funeral grabbing her casket and faking tears for fame and to catapult his career. In 2017, Ray expressed his regrets about what happened to Whitney and even confessed that he was to blame. Speaking to singer Stacey Francis during season of Celebrity Big Brother, Ray brought up the events from 2012 saying, "Stacey and we had a conversation about what happened with Whitney Houston before she passed. I never talk about it, but it was something I felt she wanted to talk about, and it was the right time, so we talked briefly about it, and I told them how I felt, how I blame myself on a lot of stuff." Ray also insisted that although several media outlets offered him millions to reveal secrets of the music icon's death, he turned down every single proposal. He said, "I had so many people calling me offering millions of dollars to have an interview. I was like, I don't need the money. It's not good money. That's just not right. My karma would be bad." Ray J and Whitney Houston had a well-known and often speculated about relationship that has captured the public's attention for years. Whitney Houston was already an established superstar by the time she met Ray J in the early 2000s. On the other hand, Ray was a young up-and-comer when he first met Houston. He had already begun his career as an actor, appearing on shows like The Sinbad Show and Moesha, and had just released his debut album, Everything You Want, in 1997. At the time, he was still a teenager, and he quickly became enamored with Houston's talent and presence.
In my car way.
It's not entirely clear how the two met, but they quickly became close friends. They were often seen together at events and parties, and Ray J even appeared on Houston's reality show, Being Bobby Brown, in 2005. The show, which followed Houston and her then-husband Bobby Brown as they went about their daily lives, gave viewers a glimpse into the couple's tumultuous relationship. But it also showcased Houston's affection for Ray J. As the years went on, rumors began to swirl that Ray J and Houston's relationship was more than just platonic. Some sources claimed that they had been romantically involved, while others insisted that they were simply close friends. Despite the speculation, neither Ray J nor Houston ever confirmed or denied the rumors. After Whitney died in 2012, Ray J was reportedly devastated by the loss, and in interviews following her death, he spoke candidly about their relationship, describing her as a mentor and a friend.
"I really miss my friend. You know, I really do. I'm still hurting."
In any case, Clive Davis doesn't give out innocent vibes either. Clive orchestrated Whitney's comeback in 2009 after years of substance abuse and a messy relationship which ended in a messy divorce. Her debut album, I Look to You, sold 304,000 copies in its first 7 days on the market, sending Houston back to the top of the charts and giving her the best debut week of her career. Houston still stands for the best of songwriting, the best of singing, and we know the public wants it, Clive said in 2009. There is a song on this album which is called I Didn't Know My Own Strength, and it really speaks for Whitney. She tumbled, but she didn't crumble. In any case, Whitney did not release anything after that since her voice had been ruined due to substance abuse, much to Clive's disappointment. But despite the undeniable vocal decline and the unmistakable shadow cast over Whitney's star power, Clive's optimism seemingly remained unscathed. Of course, one might wonder if his rosy outlook was fueled by the substantial coin he continued to rake in from her legacy. It's difficult not to speculate whether Clive's unwavering hope was propelled by the echoes of revenue streams rather than genuine concern. In any case, it was no secret that the music mogul appeared to be more invested in making money than in his protege's well-being. You see, Whitney died on Feb. 11, 2012. the day before the Grammy Awards. This was hours before she was to attend Davis's annual pre-Grammy party. At the time, the public and lovers of her music worldwide were devastated by her passing. However, Davis, Whitney's self-proclaimed friend and mentor, still hosted his pre-Grammy party in the Beverly Hilton Hotel on the evening of February 11th, despite the singer's body remaining inside the building until 12:45 a.m. At the start of the event, he shared a tribute to Houston, saying,
"By now, sadly, you've all learned of the unspeakably tragic."
The Grammy Award winner continued, "I am personally devastated by the loss of someone who has meant so much to me for so many years. Whitney was so full of life. She was so looking forward to tonight, even though she wasn't scheduled to perform. Whitney was a beautiful person and a talent beyond compare. She graced this stage with her regal presence and gave so many memorable performances here over the years. Simply put, Whitney would have wanted the music to go on, and her family asked that we carry on." Whitney Houston's death on the eve of the Grammys in 2012 came as a horrific shock, if not entirely without warning. The platinum-selling singer and actress was to attend Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammys bash at the Beverly Hilton that night, but instead, she died in a room upstairs after accidentally drowning in the bathtub. Whitney's death was tragic, but the heartbreak didn't end there. Just 3 years later, Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, was found unresponsive in a bathtub, eerily similar to the way her mother died. Bobby Christina was in a coma for 6 months before she eventually passed away. Her death sparked even more conspiracy theories, particularly from her aunt, Leola Brown.
I believe that somebody my niece, just like they her mother.
Leola has long maintained that both Whitney and Bobby Christina were victims of foul play, orchestrated by powerful figures who stood to benefit financially from their deaths. According to her, Bobby Christina was targeted because she inherited Whitney's estate and was planning to expose the truth about her mother's death. You see, Bobby Christina Brown, who was born in 1993, was the daughter of two music icons, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Whitney and Bobby Brown met in 1989 and married 3 years later. While fans often assume it was Bobby who led Whitney into a dark place, the I Will Always Love You singer herself revealed that she had a part in her substance demise. Although Whitney was a star, her substance AB led to missteps along the way. As Vanity Fair noted, she often arrived late to appearances and occasionally lost gigs. In 2009, she opened up to Oprah Winfrey about her substance addiction. She had been to rehab twice at that point, once in 2004 and again in 2005, and would give sobriety another shot in 2011.
You're just sitting there and you just watch TV and you go,
She went on to add, "We weren't buying $20 jumbos, we were paying money, we were buying kilos and ounces, we would have our stash." Whitney Houston, the legendary songstress with a voice that could move mountains, met a tragic end on February 11, 2012. Her untimely demise sent shockwaves through the world, leaving fans in the music industry reeling from the loss of one of its most iconic figures. While her legacy remains immortalized through her music, understanding the circumstances surrounding her death requires a closer examination of the events leading up to that fateful day.
I've concluded the autopsy on Miss Whitney Houston. It was concluded.
Officially, Whitney Houston's cause of death was ruled as an accidental drowning, compounded by heart disease and use, according to a detailed 42-page coroner's report. The report revealed a cocktail of substances in her system, including marijuana, Xanax, Benadryl, and Flexeril. However, it was determined that only and its metabolites contributed to her passing, while the other substances were deemed non-lethal. Los Angeles County Chief Coroner Craig Harvey shed light on the investigation, stating that the presence of water in Houston's lungs indicated that she was alive when submerged. Despite the level not reaching lethal thresholds, her death was complicated by chronic use and pre-existing heart issues.
sometimes.
Always?
Not always, no. Sometimes. That means sometimes.
Coroner Assistant Chief Ed Winter outlined two possible scenarios. Houston may have lost consciousness due to intoxication or suffered a heart attack before drowning. The tragic discovery of Houston's lifeless body occurred within the confines of Suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. The sequence of events leading to her discovery unfolded rapidly. Just 40 minutes before her death, Houston had a seemingly normal conversation with her mother, Cissy Houston. However, less than an hour later, hotel security was alerted to her unresponsive state in the bathtub by her assistant. Police arrived promptly, as they were already stationed at the hotel for Clive Davis's pre-Grammy Awards party. Despite efforts to revive her, Houston was pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m., marking the end of an era in music. Houston's sudden departure sent shockwaves across the globe, prompting an outpouring of grief from fans and colleagues alike. Her death dominated headlines and served as a sobering reminder of the perils of substance abuse. Despite the passage of a decade, Houston's influence remains unparalleled, cementing her status as one of the greatest singers of all time. In any case, at this point, Suge Knight's allegations have shaken up the industry again. If what he's saying is even partially true, this could expose two of the biggest scandals in music history. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.